I know you have scarce a chance to rest, but I'm afraid there is still work to do. The Ultima Weapon's destruction, 'twould seem, has served to embolden the beastmen, who now seek to call down their gods once more. Even as we speak, the Amalja, the Ixal, and the Kobolds are making preparations for their respective summoning rites, and that is but the half of it. Much to our dismay, all three tribes were somehow able to procure vast quantities of crystals. Oh, my turn to say something. Basically, this means the Primals will be stronger than they were before. Far, far stronger. Their previous incarnations will seem as pale imitations. The Beast Tribes, we believe, began hoarding crystals with a vengeance in the wake of the Ultima Weapon's maiden appearance. You will remember that as the time it devoured the three primals in one sitting. The Grand Companies are aware of the potential primal outbreak. Alas, due to the losses they incurred to ensure the success of Operation Archon, they are ill-equipped to take any meaningful measure. After deliberation, the leaders concluded that they must needs turn to us once more, to thee. The etheric waves that were observed in Mordona do not appear to bear a connection to any beast tribe. Yet much and more still remains beyond our knowing. We must be prepared for all possibilities. I am loath to send you into the midst of danger again so soon, but none have proven themselves more capable against the primals than you. Will you undertake this mission, Sophie? You have my thanks. I truly do not know what we would do without you. Go ahead, Thancred. Ahem. With circumstances as they were, I haven't had the chance to properly express my gratitude. I owe you my life, Sophie. Thank you, from the bottom of my heart. A string of failures had left me feeling powerless. I wanted to be stronger, that I might do right by my fellow scions. But instead, I caused you all no end of grief and suffering. I swear to you it shan't happen again. Owing to everyone's ministrations, I am quite recovered now. I hope to return to my duties again soon. Thancred's return marks the beginning of a new chapter for the Scions. Let us renew the fire in our hearts and continue to press ever forward. Now then, back to the matter of the primals. With no fewer than 3 of the beings threatening to appear, it is easy to feel overwhelmed. We must take it one sure step at a time. Urianger has the overview of the situation as it stands. Please speak with him to receive guidance on your missions. So, the etheric disturbance in Mordona that they were talking about was that roar that we heard during the end-credit scene while we were ushering in a new era. Such knowledge as I possess of the beast tribes and their primals is at thy disposal. Whether man or beast man, we are wont to seek power when plunged into the black depths of despair. That despair doth begin with the Amalja, who may have already summoned forth Ifrit. With our comrade Thancred now returned, thou wouldst do well to seek his counsel. Confirmation has just arrived from the Immortal Flames. 'Tis as Urianger said, I fear. The Amalja have already summoned Ifrit. A confrontation with the Lord of the Inferno is inevitable. I would like nothing more than to lend you my blade, but the students of Baldesion insisted that I refrain from taking the field where it concerns primals. I know not the workings of it, but it would seem that recent events have left me especially susceptible to tempering. As much as I hate missing out on the fun, for everybody's sake, I must sit this one out. Instead, I will focus on gathering and analyzing data. Now, the Immortal Flames have already conducted a preliminary investigation into Ifrit. They may well have information that will be of use to you. Do pay a visit to the Hall of Flames and speak with Commander Swift. One last thing before you depart. Doubtless you remember Menphilia's words, but this Ifrit is a far cry from the Primal you first defeated. You will want to assemble your most dependable comrades for this mission. Be safe, my friend. So, before I teleport real quick, if you're wondering what this is, the roar in Mordona was, as I think I mentioned already, the hint that there was more in-game content at launch, and it is the binding coils of Bahamut. But before you can gain access to those, you had to gear up and basically train. Like, they wanted you to learn how to do 8-man content that was harder than the story content. So we are now going to face off against the 3 primals from the story in quote-unquote hard mode. So we'll fight Ifrit, Garuda, and then Titan. All hard mode. So, and then after that, we're allowed to go after Bahamut. Sophie, we thank you for coming. The Flame General will be heartened to hear that you have answered the call. As we have already relayed to the Waking Sands, Ifrit is returned. For the sake of peace in the region, we humbly request that you vanquish him. The Primal is to be found in his domain, the Bowl of Embers. To get there, you must use the Beastman Aetheryte found within the depths of Zaharak, the Amalja stronghold. The Amalja have constructed their own Aethernet from salvaged Aetherite shards. This being the case, you should be able to use it without problem. No doubt you already know this from your fellow Scions, but the present incarnation of Ifrit is far stronger than the last. Facing him with any fewer than 7 of your stoutest comrades would be ill-advised. That is all for the intelligence we have to share. The rest is in your hands. I shall pray for your victory and safe return. So this was one of the things where you had to go and unlock the dungeon by going into the pit of the Beastman tribe, which I think was intended to be difficult because at the time the max level was 50 and these things are all 50 and there's a whole bunch of them and you have to fight your way deep into their territory and then find the Aetheryte and unlock it, right? Like, I remember when I was doing it myself at the very beginning of the game's launch, I remember it not being terribly hard, but I'm pretty sure I took a couple people with me when I went to do it, and then I think I also went and helped some people do it later. Most part you would just mount up and run. Like, you wouldn't even fight. You'd just run until you got to the Aetheryte, and then a couple of straggling monsters or beastmen would be there and you'd fight those, and if you had 2 or 3 people with you, it wasn't too bad. Now you can just fly, so it's super easy. So yeah, normally you would have fought your way through this. Level 48, level 49s. Look at all these things right here, 49s. A fate deep inside of it. 48. Maybe I took a wrong turn here. No, I didn't. Okay. More 49s. And then finally you would get to the crystal. But like I said, now you can just fly, so it's super easy. It's ridiculous. So, this fight used to be super hard back in the day at one point, and the thing about it was you kind of had to have a paladin, because only a paladin had a regular interrupt that could be used to interrupt him from casting devastation, because everybody else had really long cooldowns on their interrupts, and you wanted to interrupt him from casting that spell right there, Eruption, because it would kill people with one shot. If they were, and if it didn't kill them, they had, if it wasn't interrupted, then they had to run away, run away, which means that they lost time casting. So. Could mean the death of somebody. So, I don't even know if I can interrupt anymore. So yeah, that used to be like hard, but the other thing is, if you remember in the normal mode, when he summons Ifrit's Nail, there's one nail. In hard mode, there is... In hard mode, there's 3. Oh, I'm sorry, there's 4. Oh, I can interrupt it. Okay, cool. It's kind of funny. That used to be like my whole job, was interrupting that thing. Alright, here comes the big explosion. Come here, puppy. Oh, he didn't even do the charge thing, did he? Oh, there it is. Multiple chargers here. You have to try to line up on the side of the furthest one. Actually, I think I can interrupt Radiant Plume magic. It's much easier right now. Obviously. I mean, all this stuff is going to be easier because they're all like so much higher level in gear and stuff now. So, I didn't realize this. I had forgotten it. I guess forgetting it is different than not realizing it, but I had forgotten this, but after you defeat the hard mode Primal, there's no like next there's no next step to the quest or anything. You don't like go report to anybody. I guess they'll just assume you did your job because you don't tell anyone. You just go back to the Waking Sands and hey, the next person's got the quest ready for you, so now we're gonna go fight Garuda. Ah, Sophie, I hear you have triumphed over Ifrit. Of course, this is no less a feat than I would expect from a warrior of light, but well done all the same. Now, I full had a mind to crack open a bottle of 1547 Bacchus, but the celebration must keep. Garuda, I am afraid to say, has also returned. As you well know, Garuda's appetite for destruction far exceeds that of the other primals. Not to dishearten you, but in her latest incarnation, that appetite has become nigh insatiable. In the short time since her return, she has already wreaked tremendous havoc. You must send her back to the Aether before she can do any more damage. In the meantime, Ida and I will assist the Order of the Twin Adder in the recovery effort. When you previously faced Garuda, 'twas the Enterprise that bore you through the storm that shielded her domain. Well, that storm is a spring breeze beside what she has raised this time. No airship could hope to penetrate it. And so, we must count ourselves fortunate the Order of the Twin Adder chanced to discover a beastman aetherite leading to the Howling Eye. Before you do aught else, I suggest you pay a visit to the Adder's Nest and have words with Commander Helio. He will be able to tell you about the said aetherite, among other things. Make no mistake, the Lady of the Vortex will prove a formidable opponent, but I believe that you can weather the storm. May the 12 keep you safe. Alright, so now we travel to Gridania. To Gridania. Ah, Sophie of the Scions, we are grateful for your aid. As you will already know, the accursed Ixal have summoned Garuda once more. Since her return, she has wasted no time unleashing her fury upon the region. Extensive damage has been reported in both the Twelveswood and Corthus. Are you playing cards in front of me? Did you jump in front of me to play cards with this guy? Sir, that is a... or ma'am, what is it? Sir? I don't know. Thing? Person? That is a quest giver. And I am in the process of being given a quest. I will politely ask you to fold those cards and walk away from the table. Get your cards out of my face. She must be stopped, and soon, lest more lives be lost. In the name of the Elder Seedseer, I humbly request you put an end to her reign of terror. As in the past, Garuda keeps her court within the Howling Eye, which is perpetually protected by a raging tempest. Fortunately, we have learned of an alternate way into her domain. The Ixal have constructed an aetherite within Natalan, their stronghold in the central highlands of Corthus. This aetherite will take you to Garuda's tempestuous realm. We owe this discovery to the Ishgardians, who the Elder Seedseers desired to repay the kindness you showed them. For the sake of our people as well as theirs, may your mission be met with success. Get your cards out of my face. Oh, well, you have a goatee, so you're definitely a man. But still, get your cards out of my face. Alright. So, I'm apparently not main tanking, but I want you to watch the main tank here, and the big thing is she'll cast a thing called Slipstream. And when she does, there's no signal for it happening. But you gotta try to dodge it when she casts it because it stuns her. Gotta try to destroy these feathers. Okay, so now there's these vortexes, right? We have to get out of the vortexes. Would have killed us back in the day. The main tank should not have hit those other two. But whatever, we're fine. In theory, what would happen is I would have grabbed the other two and moved them away from her. You AoE nuke those two down and then you take on her. But that's okay. Like I said, everything's much easier, so.